what song was really the song that, two things, not only validated the community to be like, yo, who is this? Like, who is he? And then also, too, when did you give yourself the credit that I'm him?
So that's a great question. I think that the song that changed it for me from a visibility perspective was Jagged Edge, He Can't Love You. Because that was the first, I mean, I had a hit record before that. I did a record with a group called Ideal called Get Gone.
Yeah.
That was a hit record before that. But I don't think that people, it was before people really knew a kid who the producer was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think He Can't Love You was the first thing that made, at least Atlanta, the city of Atlanta, say, okay, this kid, he did one record, okay, now he did this record. And Jermaine, I think what said a lot about it was that usually, Jermaine, he owns So So Def, he usually produces all the songs, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I think what spoke loudly to the city, really, was that he picked a song that he didn't produce. Wow. You know what I'm saying? To be Jagged Edge's first single.
Right.
And I think that spoke loudly to the city, like, okay, well, why, Jermaine don't ever do this, so he rarely does this. Who was this kid? You know what I mean? And I think that is what got me like going in the city. But the moment, the I'm him moment, they're like, oh yeah, like this is, you know what I mean?
Right.
Was the Mary moment. I think for me, because I was up against a lot of adversity during that period. You know what I mean? There was a lot of random turmoil going on in different spots of my life, business-wise. A lot of like doubt with labels, a lot of, it was just a lot going on at the time. And when we got the call, Jimmy Iovine called and was like, can you guys make this record? And I remember somebody telling me that, Jimmy wasn't really, he didn't really like R&B music like that, but because Mary's such a big artist, he has to support it, you know what I mean? So he didn't really get it, It was like, I don't really get R&B, but okay, I'm gonna call these guys, I think, And I remember being like, oh, this is gonna be a challenge. Like, I'm ready for this challenge. Yeah. And we wrote the song, and then, along with my, compadre, this guy named Ron Fair, who was the chairman of Geffen Records at the time, we made the record a record. You know what I'm saying? And I remember getting the mix back. I remember being in New York, and I was working with Joe at the time. We were at the Zamba Studios, and I got it back. And I would never forget, Akon was in the room, Divine was in the room. And I was like, y'all want to hear this Mary song? Like, I just, I got the mix back. We're going to listen back. And I remember when we played the song, played the mix back, the final mix, you could hear a pin drop in the room. It was kind of like, Akon was just like, yo, that's the best shit I've ever heard. Like, it was like, you know what I mean? It was kind of like, and for me, and I was like, okay, this record's gonna change it. It's gonna make people absolutely know. And it's gonna make people go back and look at, because I had done a gang of stuff before that.
Yeah,
so when people go back, so, all right, let's look up Bryan-Michael Cox and see what's what. And then you see all these records, then people start connecting the dots.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People start connecting the dots.